Thought you might want to see what this rack looks like when it's been painted. It was wood this morning. And that's what it looks like now that it's gray. I was going to put the trike on here and actually wheel this thing around, but I wanted you to see what these slots look like. And when I drape the Velcro straps through here, they're actually reaching underneath and going through that little eyelet there. So they're really gripping this entire piece of wood. The same thing up here. Initially these were put down here so that when I set this on the sawhorse here, it wouldn't rock back and forth. So this was just, initially it was intended just to stabilize this whole assembly. But again, when I put the Velcro straps through here, they're actually gripping this whole, everything up here. So a little bit easier to see some of this stuff without the trike mounted on it. Spray can of primer and a spray can of gray. I think I'll paint the cat next. And one other thing before I put the trike on there, Mike, I took you seriously when you said when you gave the example of the mishap with the cycle, bicycle, tricycle fastened to the back of your vehicle. Over here, is the inside of my rear vehicle door. And I did, when I traveled up to Kentucky, I had some straps in some eyelets down here. But what I've done today, there's a little screw in here that I've taken off. Let me put this on close up, see what it looks like. So I pulled that screw out, and now then I can take this strap and loop it over this handle. It might be kind of hard to do and get it photographed. Maybe not. And then when I drape that up over the top, put this on the door, I have something outside that I can attach to. It'll help give it a little bit more strength inside. And when this is not in use, I can just wind it up and stick it down in this little cargo box here. So, thanks, Mike. I like that idea. I'll show you what all this looks like. I'll get the trike on the thing here in a minute on the rack and wheel it around. Before I close the door, I just thought you might want to see what this can be like. I've just coiled this up a little bit and stuck it behind this handle. And when I need it, unwind it, loop it over the door, close the door, and I've got something, a little bit more insurance back here. If you've got just a regular car and you're looking for an extra strap in the back, you could probably do something similar to this over the front part of your trunk lid, so that it's attached to spare tire cover or something inside the trunk, and you only take a strap out when you need it. One of the things that I always try to do, if you'll notice that there's a closed loop on this. This is all plastic, by the way, heavy duty plastic, and that's closed there. So if I loop something in there, I also want whatever I loop in there to be closed, hopefully, so that if something comes loose out here, it doesn't just fall off of your vehicle. So anyway, you can do that to a car over the front of the trunk lid. This is really tacky, but I thought you might want to see it before I uncovered it. This is just a spare sheet that I've pulled over the trike and just taken a clip to kind of keep it from blowing off. This has been on here all morning, and I normally, when this trike is on top of the sawhorse unit here, this is what it would be sitting on in my shop, and I would wheel it out here with a cover on it, perhaps this one, just to keep the dust and tree sap, bird dew, and everything else off of it. Just a sheet, and to keep it from blowing off, a couple of these clamps, like you see down there. Well, this is how it's looking at the moment. This is how I would have it in my shop. Just resting here on this stand. It's just all loose, and I can wheel it around. I normally don't fasten the trike down on the rack while it's on the sawhorses here, because it's easier to load on the vehicle one piece at a time with these two pieces. The sawhorses, these are 6x6 southern yellow pine. There's no fasteners in there other than locust pegs here that are driven in with mortise and tenon construction. These were built about 20 years ago, and with this square mortise pocket, I can put boards in here ganged together and spread these out over a very, very long distance. Usually I don't exceed 20 feet, but they will not tip over as long as those square boards in the square mortise, they steady it pretty nicely. And you can level each one of them up on a job site, and typically a crane or a forklift, a bobcat or whatever, will bring material over and set them down on here. I've had people want to buy them, make a coffee table out of them. I don't have time to build another set, so those are about 20 years old. I just take them apart. There's a little old truck out there with 400,000 miles on it. I throw them in the back of the truck and go. Not all that pretty. But pretty handy. Let's load that up on the car and see what it looks like. I didn't want the job to be too shabby, so while I was waiting for the gray paint to dry, I pulled these out. I just held in there with one screw each and painted them black, but it doesn't look too bad. This is where I like to work on the trike, out here in the shade. Cat likes it too. When I first made the rack, I was trying to attach to this piece here because, if you'll remember now, the strap will attach around the top of this piece onto the wheel. So I found this bracket, which fits 3/4 plywood. If I can do that one-handed, that'll probably get the job done. The cylinder, the locking cylinder, then fits on the bottom and goes up against the screen here. I wasn't satisfied that would be enough. That keeps it from wanting to tilt. I put this piece of wire on here, and it goes through one of the holes in the front part of the basket. This just goes over the side. Really hard to do this one-handed, but I think you'll get the point. And I can fasten that, just kind of some safety there. We're ready for the trike. I'm not convinced that's maybe the best color, and I'm not convinced that that's necessarily the best strap system. I've got it tied into this eye bolt down here on both sides of the rack. And to take some of the tension off the rack, got that fastened up to our new strap up there. Idea compliments of Mike. Thanks, Mike. Only one other thing that we might want to consider. This here, put this on close up. This here is nothing more than just one of those tops off of the bungees. I replace the tops, by the way, with this system here. I just take this off, and that gives me I can mouse the hook, as they would say. So I took that and just tied a knot in the end of a rag, and then I can just pull this down, and I can wash the rag, by the way. Pull that down in there. Yeah, we've got us a safety flag. There's a number of places I can hook it. I can hook it back here. And a lot of you might think that that is just a safety flag. Well, I don't know about you, but my hands get awfully dirty working on these trikes and bikes, so I got a rag to wipe my hands off with. That's about it. Mike, thanks for the idea. Constructive criticism, I should say. I appreciate that. Fred, not sure about the gray. I think we ought to go to black. Got all the tires strapped in. You can see what that looks like. And in there. And up here in the front. Well, I'm not sure about the cats. I feel a little bit better about the trike, though. That's it.